Have you ever just stopped and thought about how much of our lives, our cities, our stress revolves around traffic? Seriously. Today we're diving into a really radical vision for the future of getting around, and it's all drawn from Andrew Turtle's work on abundance. We're talking about a future where getting from point A to point B could be as simple and as reliable as just turning on a tap.
Just let that sink in for a second. The daily grind of the commute, the stress of just trying to find a parking spot, those constant car payments. What if all of that just went away? This isn't just some sci-fi dream. It's the very real potential outcome of a massive technological and systemic shift that's actually already getting started.
All right, so here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we're going to look at the mess we're in right now, what the source calls the scarcity era. Then, we'll get into the cool tech that's making a huge transformation possible. After that, we'll talk about what it actually feels like to use this new on-demand system. And finally, we'll zoom out and see how getting around could become as fundamental as water or electricity.
Okay, first up, our current reality. The source material has a name for this. It calls it the Day 2 world. Basically, a civilization that's organized around the idea of scarcity. And wow, is there any better example of that than how we move from place to place?
I mean, think about it. Our entire system is built on a model of scarcity. It's all about every single person owning their own car, which runs on finite fossil fuels. And what does that lead to? Well, exactly what we have. Constant congestion, insanely high costs, and frankly, really unequal access. It's a hugely inefficient way to do things that demands a ton of human labor, for everything from driving to repairs.
This chart right here really puts the scale of this change into perspective. We're talking about a leap from our current Day 2 system to a future Day 4 vision. It's a complete flip. We go from private ownership to universal access, from choked-up roads and fossil fuels to a clean, electric, and coordinated system, and we switch from a high-cost, labor-intensive model to one that's automated and just seamless. This is the transformation we're talking about.
So, the big question is, how do we get from here to there? Well, that brings us to what the source calls the Day 3 transition. These are the technologies that are building the bridge to this whole new system. And it's not a sudden jump. It's a transformation that's happening right now.
So, the source points to three incredibly powerful forces that are all coming together at the perfect time to change the game. It's not just one magic invention. It's the combination of electrification, automation, and the digital platforms that act as the brains of the operation. Let's break each of those down.
First on the list, electrification. As renewable energy becomes the cheapest power source in history, the cost to actually move a vehicle just plummets. It heads right down towards zero. This doesn't just break our addiction to fossil fuels, it makes the entire system radically, fundamentally cheaper to run.
Next up is automation. Self-driving cars do a whole lot more than just let you take your hands off the wheel. They promise a world with way fewer accidents. Plus, they allow a transport network to operate 24/7 with an efficiency that's just mind-boggling, completely getting rid of the bottleneck of needing a human driver for every single trip.
And the final piece of the puzzle is the digital brain that ties it all together. You can think of these AI-managed platforms as the nervous system for this new mobility grid. They're coordinating millions of autonomous vehicles, optimizing traffic on the fly, and matching supply with demand in an instant. This is the absolute key to making a truly shared, on-demand service a reality.
So once you have these technologies in place, the whole experience of getting around gets completely redefined. And this is where it gets personal for all of us. We start to move away from the need to own a car and toward a world of simply having access to a ride anytime, anywhere.
The Netflix analogy is just perfect, isn't it? Why would you own, insure, and maintain a car that just sits there doing nothing 95% of the time? Especially when you could just tap into a massive network of vehicles whenever you need one. You're trading all the headaches of ownership for the pure freedom of access.
And using it would be incredibly simple. You just tap an app. A clean, electric, self-driving car shows up, and it takes you exactly where you need to go. No parking, no gas stations, no stress. The entire complex system just works, humming along seamlessly in the background.
And the benefits? They're crystal clear. For you, the user, the cost absolutely plummets. The convenience goes through the roof. And for society as a whole, the efficiency of the system, we're talking energy, space, and time, is on a totally different level. It's a win-win-win.
Okay, so here's the really big idea.
This isn't just about creating a better taxi service. No, in its final, mature Day 4 form, mobility becomes something much more profound. It becomes a foundational utility, like the water in your pipes or the electricity in your walls.
In this model, transport isn't this separate thing over here. It actually weaves itself into what the source calls a utility mesh. It becomes the circulatory system for a society where all the essentials, energy, data, even housing, are seamlessly integrated and just provided.
So let's look at how this all clicks together. You've got abundant energy powering the fleet of vehicles. You've got the digital network coordinating everything. Housing design can be totally reimagined because you just don't need a garage for every single home anymore. Transport becomes the connective tissue holding all the other utilities together, moving people and things around with unbelievable efficiency.
So to really wrap your head around it, this new mobility utility has a few key traits. It's universally accessible, it's highly automated and fully electric, it's deeply integrated with everything else, and it provides low-cost, on-demand movement that is just orders of magnitude safer and more efficient than anything we have today.
And that right there is the ultimate takeaway. This isn't just about getting a new kind of car. It's a civilizational upgrade. We get to reclaim the massive amounts of money we all spend on our private vehicles, the countless hours wasted in traffic, and all that precious urban space that's currently just dead pavement for parking.
This quote from the source really just brings it all home. The technology is coming. It's already arriving. The real challenge, the real delay, is in getting our institutions, our culture, and just our own mindsets to mature and adapt to the incredible possibilities of this new abundance.
Which leaves us with one last, really fascinating question to think about. When moving around becomes truly effortless, when all that friction is removed from our daily lives, what do we do with all that reclaimed potential? What new things could we build, or create, or even become? That's a future that's definitely worth thinking about.